That's the FedEx truck there. I know it doesn't say FedEx, but this is rural Oklahoma. They don't always have a truck that says FedEx. They have to rent trucks. But FedEx just delivered something that wasn't supposed to come until Monday. Check it out. By the way, today's Friday, June, what is it, 9th? A very big box. What is in the box? A chest freezer. You say, Emily, you already have a chest freezer. This is 5 cubic feet, by the way. Yes. And Benjamin's watching a video, that's why he's laughing. This is our 8.8 cubic foot freezer. We got another one. We got another freezer because we need more food storage, and I'll talk about that coming up. But first, this came earlier than we expected, so we need to rearrange the kitchen to fit this thing in and unbox it and all that fun stuff. Alright, I think I said it was Friday, June 9th. It's actually Friday, June 8th. Anyway, so the first order of business is clear this out, because I've got a lot of glass on here. Oh, glass stuff. Stuff with food in it. And then there, I know, heavy stuff underneath and also glass. But the deal is it's supposed to roll on wheels, but pretty early in the game, you know, not too long after we started using this, one of the wheels came off. So I'm going to take all this stuff out just in case we're moving it around, and that, you know, if that comes off, we would have an imbalanced thing and have things falling off and breaking. So yeah, we need to figure out how to get that freezer here. So those coolers are going to have to be shifted around, as well as the utility cart. So I'm going to take care of that right now. Alright, first thing we're going to do is move these 2 coolers over there and put the freezer there, and just look at, just to see exactly how much space it takes up. Now the only way to get this thing out of the box is cut the box open. We need more cardboard to cover the garden, the bare gardens in the area that are growing weeds, that are supposed to be growing weeds. Ta-da! The box is off. Here comes the plastic. Is that good enough to use for a trash bag?
I don't know, I think it may have holes. Yeah.
Oops, it's got big old holes in it. Nope. Let's open it up and see inside. I'm so excited. If you remove your hand. Here it is. Oh. It's got the shelf on the other side from the big one. Alright, here the freezer is in place. And now we need to figure out how to reconfigure the utility cart and these 4 coolers. Now this one actually we don't use as a cooler. This is just dry storage. It's not cold. So that could potentially go under our bed. So we'll see. First thing to do is turn the utility cart around. Here's what we have so far. These 2 coolers that were stacked, they were on this side before. So we've turned the utility cart. And now they're on this side, but you know, they're kind of clunky looking, and they're, you know, and you're sitting at the table, you see the coolers. So I told Jerry, I think it would be nicer to actually have this side of the utility cart facing the table and put the coolers on this side. So we're going to try that next. Alright, here we go. We've turned the utility cart around. Jerry and Benjamin is finding much hilarity in this Minecraft video. They have young people who do Minecraft videos that have very entertaining narrative as they're playing the game. So I hear a lot of laughing. But look at now, the towels are right next to each other. But so now we've got the coolers back here, and I definitely like that better. I like the coolers being back here because they're like an appliance, right? They are our refrigerator, and so the refrigerator and freezer go together, right? And so then the blue cooler is down here, and it's kind of tight right here. Here's my foot. But like Jerry was mentioning, you know, these coolers are low, so it doesn't feel very crowded. And then the other cooler that used to be against that wall is now here, kind of sticking out to make room for the blue cooler. But I think for now I'll be happy with it. And like Jerry's said a couple of times, you know, we don't have to, this isn't the way it has to be for the next 10 years. If I don't like it in a few days, we can just move things back around. So I'm going to show you the corner now. And by the way, we've plugged it in, and it is cooling off. We don't actually need it plugged in until probably Thursday we'll plug it in, but yeah, it's getting nice and cold. It's getting cold now. It's gone from cool to cold. Yeah, we had to check it out because of this little ding. Bad on FedEx, okay? If you're a FedEx person watching this, or you have a relative who works for FedEx, tell them about this, please. UPS would have never let that happen. I mean, I know. Anyway, so here's our new kitchen for the moment. Yeah, it looks more crowded, but I really feel like we need that other freezer, and I will explain that next. Alright, it's the next day, and before I explain why we bought a new freezer, I wanted to show you how I tweaked this area. And right now I've got it all set up for getting ready to make smoothies, and I've got the some laundry soaking here. But before, this cooler, which used to be against the bedroom wall there, was kind of sticking out in order to get this cooler, the blue cooler, back a little bit against the utility cart. But I did not like the look of this sticking out. So I just went ahead and I shoved the blue cooler over here. And it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of space, but, you know, like I already mentioned, these are low. So, I mean, it's plenty of room to walk by and to open the freezers and get things out of it. And I can easily, you know, open this and reach over here. So I might bump my ankle once in a while. Sorry for that noise. But I mean, it works. And I mean, from over back here, it doesn't look that much different. Just, you know, turn this around. And actually, it kind of has the same effect. And when I changed, you know, the short bookcases used to be back to back. And then when I put them right next to each other, I actually gained space. It feels like the same thing happened. That's my tripod, by the way. It feels like the same thing happened here. We definitely have a lot more space. I mean, I think we've almost doubled the space between the utility cart and the table. So that's how I've tweaked it. So I'm liking the look. Now for the explanation. So why invest in another freezer? Well, I'll confess. It wasn't long after we moved here that I wish we had gone ahead and bought a 14 cubic feet. That was the biggest one at Lowe's at the time, was a 14 cubic feet freezer, because you know, it's going to be a while before we're complete. We won't ever be completely self-sufficient in fruit. I'll tell you that right now. But it'll be a while before we get to where we're even half self-sufficient in growing fruit. So in the meantime, yeah, it's going to Whole Foods. I'm not going to get into the big thing right now, but let me tell you, we've been eating non-organic stuff from the local market, and I'm telling you, I don't care what the organic skeptics say, the organic stuff tastes better. And if its food tastes better, you know what? That means it's more nutritious. So yeah, I'm going to feed my family the best that we can afford, and we can afford to go to Whole Foods every 6 weeks or so, which is what we've been doing, and buy the frozen, you know, there for organic stuff. So I mean, that's what we were doing at the beginning. I wasn't even going to touch the local grocery store. And yeah, we would go to Whole Foods, come home with all these bananas, all these frozen strawberries, frozen peaches, all the frozen stuff, and I would get frustrated with, you know, the freezer's like, how am I going to fit everything in? So yeah, now I'm going back. Now that I've discovered that organic really is superior in flavor and nutrition, yeah, we're going back to that. And in order to do that, we really need to have another freezer. So just, you know, just for now, you know, that's necessary as long as we're not growing a lot of our own fruit. However, down the line, I mean, I'm looking at the tomatoes right now. I'm like, there's no way we're gonna be able to eat all of those fresh. You know, so I got to do something to preserve them, and I'll get why I'm choosing freezer in a minute. But down the line in a few years, when I've got a lot more strawberries and hopefully some apples and, you know, a lot more raspberries and blackberries, I'm going to want to preserve them. You know, we're not going to be able to eat them all fresh. And since we eat smoothies, you know, freezing them is a good way to go. So some people are going to wonder, well, Emily, why don't you dehydrate? The reason is nutrition. I know that there are pros and cons to every way that you can preserve. And the three main, like, I don't know, are there any other ways? But, well, I guess fermenting, you know, with salt, right? Like sauerkraut. But mainly, you know, it's canning, dehydrating, and freezing. And of the three, canning loses the most nutrition and freezing preserves the most nutrition. Dehydration is in the middle. Dehydrating is great if you, especially if you build a DIY dehydrator, right, that doesn't require electricity. But, you know, it's great if you have limited storage and you want to preserve a whole lot of stuff and not take up a lot of space, because obviously when you dehydrate, take out the water, the stuff doesn't use up a lot of space. But it's also a pain. You have to lay everything. I used to dehydrate, and I may have videos way back a long time ago where I demonstrated that. But you have to lay everything out on the sheet. You have to cut everything up, lay everything out on the sheet, and then wait. You know, when you're freezing, especially fruit can be frozen raw, you know, berries, just toss them in the way they are. You know, tomatoes, cut them up a little bit, toss them in. Vegetables, you know, blanch green beans, say for example, for 5 minutes, and then put them in a bag and throw them in. You know, it's a lot easier to freeze. Takes up more space, a lot easier. But it doesn't, the freezers do not use a lot of electricity. You know, if you want to be off grid with electricity and you're worried about, you know, how much a freezer will take away from your, you know, the batteries from your solar panels, it's pretty much, it's not a deal breaker like running an air conditioner, say for example, or even a fan. You know, if you run a fan a lot during the summer, a freezer's not going to use as much electricity as a fan, I don't think. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, so that's why I'm choosing a freezer over a dehydrator. And in general, so that's why we need a new freezer, okay? Because basically peace of mind, and also the freezer, the 8.8 cubic foot freezer that I do have gets so crammed full with stuff that it, you know, then I'm digging and digging to find what I want. It takes me longer. So, and the last thing, now that we have a second freezer, defrosting is going to be a breeze. All right, especially in the middle of the summer. I need to defrost. I probably should be defrosting 3 times a year, but right now I'm defrosting twice a year. Maybe I'll go to 3 now that I have a second freezer. But now that I have a second freezer, I can just take everything out of the freezer I want to defrost, put it in the freezer that we're going to leave on, turn off the freezer we want to defrost, and let it sit, and it'll be way easier to defrost. So yeah, so those are the reasons. Those are the 3 main reasons. It's the, you know, preservation and being able to buy more frozen stuff when we have to buy something, and, you know, stock up, and also the defrost process. So There you go. That's our exciting news for our homestead at the moment, is we have a new freezer. Yay! All right, thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you for the next video. In the meantime, take care and be well.